Hey, Segovia back with another video for you guys. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas out there. But guess what, y'all? Back to reality. But in today's video, we got about an hour of clips that's going to make you question that reality. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Some things are fake. And some things we don't know about. But if something is obvious, whether you've done the research or not, if something is obvious, then why would you argue about it? Okay? Now y'all can go ahead on, go home and drink your androchrome, you sucker ass motherfuckers. I'm cool on that. Shaka Zulu, man.
Check this out, y'all. Some lions in Detroit. I feel sorry for the jogger running down that street. That's scary. That's creepy. Look at all those. That's a pack of lions in Detroit, y'all.
You know what I find ridiculous? In times of poverty, all of a sudden these trees are $20, and before they were marked $100. So this is what these major corporations such as Lowe's, shame on you for selling these trees at $20 when you could have sold them sooner and families could enjoy them.
Yeah, I grew up with real trees. My mom always got real trees, and she got a real tree this year, and she's like, I don't know what they're doing different with these trees. They don't smell no more. They're drooping the day after I put them in the water. And I told her they're probably just cutting down the cheapest trees, you know, because they always had levels of trees. You know, you had your cheap trees, your expensive trees. They had levels, right? Different types of breeds of trees. But now, you know that this corporate greed in America right now, they're just cutting, giving you crap and charging you, you know, top dollar. So she's making the switch, y'all. I'm making the switch. I didn't get a tree this year. We had a little one, but we're going to get a fake tree. That way we can enjoy it from Thanksgiving till New Year's, right?
Guys, look at this. I am behind a this is still cold. Look at all of it. Look at all these pallets.
Target.
Are they cold? Yes, they're cold. Right there. Feel that. Damn, I didn't bring any insulated bags. Oh my god. All the biscuits. Oh yeah, definitely the juices. Ooh, pink lemonade. So I just pulled this bag out, and I think it's from Sephora, but there's stuff that's full in here. Look, it's bum cream. Some of them say theft. Some of them, let's see, it says damaged. See, there's stuff in these boxes. I saw this, and
I was going to say she hit a gold mine, because usually if those garbage cans ain't locked, so you can't get in there, they'll do this. They'll put a bunch of food and soups and drinks inside the bag so that this is what it is. So no one's going to take that.
This, which are perfume boxes.
See what they do?
1, 2, 3, 4,
clean it,
5
but
perfumes. That's why I always look through soup. Because there could be hidden treasures.
It's crazy. See, that Netflix documentary, I watched a little bit of it about the overconsumption we're doing. Yeah, we're overconsuming and don't need all these things, but these corporate greeds could donate a lot of that stuff. Instead of all that stuff is going into landfill, all that plastic, all that, you know, perfumes, you can't recycle that. It's going into the landfills and then going into the ocean, where they could donate that to less fortunate in America and a lot less fortunate in third world countries all over the world. And you know, they would use that stuff. They would be happy to use that stuff. Even if it's expired, they would be happy to use that stuff. But that corporate greed, if they can't make $1 on it, is going in the trash.
All the top actors, and they get the top musicians. The Grateful Dead is played there, and a lot of them aren't getting what this ritual is. It's a Faustian German death cult ritual.
May I ask, what's their mission statement?
Their mission statement is weaving spiders come out here and forget about the cares of the world and do basically a voodoo ritual. But I don't say that from Africa. That's just a common term of where you put something on to something else. Like they used to have spirit sin eaters in old Europe and in England, where they'd have somebody where somebody died, you put a piece of bread on their stomach, and a sin eater would come and believe that they ate some of the sins and take some of the bad mojo. That's basically the same as voodoo. And so they do voodoo there, and it's a ritual where you put all your cares onto this child that you give to the idol, and they take it very seriously. But the way it was described to me is a lot of people that go to it, it's a place to party, hang out, talk about stuff. So
Years earlier, in a 1998 episode, Homer wrote this equation on the blackboard. To viewers, it meant nothing. It was absolute jargon. The equation predicted the mass of the missing God particle so precisely that he was only this far off.
This breakthrough in understanding the origins of mass
15 whole years before it was discovered. What?
These are the last days, y'all. No, I'm not talking about some apocalypse or something like that. These are the final days of celebrity culture. In 2025, we're about to see a totally brand new version of the industry. I think it starts with the downfall of the people who've been committing heinous crime after crime after crime behind the scenes. People who've been getting away with things for years after years after years and had nobody answer for it because they had so much power and money, are now being exposed to the light. And because they're gonna fall, the rest of the celebrity culture is gonna fall with them. I believe this is what Kendrick Lamar was talking about on Watch the Party Die. Him going after Drake and dropping a song like Meet the Grams, etc. was a domino effect that's leading to everything that's happening right now. I would also like to believe that Cat Williams was a part of the process beginning with his interview. Think about it. We've been watching this industry glorify a bunch of things that pull you away from your higher self and pull you away from God. And now we got an album out that's got multiple songs on the billboards in the top 10 talking about God, like Reincarnated. Bro, Luther is the highest streamed album on the song, and one of the bars is talking about putting your enemy in front of God and catching fire. Like, bro, we're watching the shift. Pay attention.
Well, we got a clip coming up where T-Pain says how you get your songs on those top 10s on the billboard. You know, he can be the wolf in sheep's clothing. Be careful what you're listening to, y'all. Just because he's saying these things, we're going to see how these artists get their songs on the top 10 later on.
Tower, notice carefully the belly of the plane. There appears to be something attached, and just as it hits the building, there's a flash. Let's take another look in super slow motion. Let's look at this photograph that was taken near Ground Zero. On the right, we see the South Tower, and the smoke that's rising into the sky is emanating from the North Tower, which is completely hidden from view. On the left, just entering the field of vision of the camera, we see the plane just before it hits the South Tower. Note a couple of items here. The engine on the right wing has a shadow, and the shadow moves towards the front of the plane and off of the plane. So the anomaly that appears to be attached to the belly of this plane could not be caused by a shadow. Also note that the item that appears to be attached to the belly of this plane is on the right side. This plane has something that is not symmetrical on the bottom of the plane. When we compare that with the bottom of a regular 767, we'll note that a normal 767 has a belly that is smooth. This plane does not. In the summer of 2003, in Barcelona, Spain, a publication by the name of La Vanguardia did an investigative report on the plane that slammed into the South Tower. After a thorough digital image analysis performed by a Spanish university, the investigators came to the conclusion that the anomaly was three-dimensional in nature and could not have been caused by shadows or reflections. Question: is it outside the realm of possibilities that an object of this size and shape could be attached to the belly of a plane of this type?
It's a longer clip, y'all.
It looks as if they got Lamar Jackson. And TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. But Lamar Jackson recently came out and said that he likes to wear women's perfume. And if you know, you know what exactly is going on here.
Okay, people may not know this about me, but I rather prefer like girl perfume or something, like something real soft. So that's what made me want to create something unisex, you know, instead of just all about us men. You know, I was like, man, I like to smell like a female sometimes, so get something that can, you know, be in between. Can you describe the sex?
So again, this is for entertainment purposes only, but if you know, you know exactly why he said what he said here, talking about what he likes to wear. This is more truth in plain sight, and people really need to wake up.
So you run out of the essential nutrients your body needs, then something breaks. So you go to the only medicine that your insurance pays for, which is allopathic MD-directed medicine. The doctors don't know anything about medical nutrition. They don't believe that the body can cure itself, so they give you a drug that manages the problem. The drug, in its working in the human body, also burns through nutrients. So after 6 months or a year, the drug stops working, or they need to increase its potency, or they need to give you a second or a third drug. And then you get worse, and then you need another drug, and then it gets worse, and then you need surgery, and then you get a secondary infection from the surgery, and then you need another drug for that, and then you die. And then your relatives are so grief-stricken that they organize a 5K run on your behalf to come up with a cure for stomach cancer. And who do they give the money to? The people that failed you in the first place.
Что, женщина, можно вставать?
Apple is pissed off that we're not buying new iPhones. So what are they going to do? They're going to make old iPhones obsolete. When in reality, when you look at this, I don't even want to update my phone because every new update is a pain in the ass. So really, if they want to do this, okay, fine, go ahead and do it. You're still going to have people with iPhones that are years old. You're still going to have people with iPhones that they don't want to update the software. And you're still going to have people that don't care to buy the new iPhone because ultimately, new iPhones are trash anyway.
They're just going to get to so much greed and start shutting off our phones so we have to buy a new one. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to run their company to the ground. We're going to start getting flip phones again, Nokias and Razors, and because we ain't going to want to put up with that eventually. I don't know. Do you guys think there'll be like a giant reset where one day, you know, because they're going to make us, when new phone comes out, guess what? These are going to start getting bugs. They're going to start, because I got like the 13. I don't know what I got. I got an older phone, but if they start doing that and start shutting off these older phones, I know me, it'll drive me back to a flip phone that lasts for hundreds of years. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. But I know I ain't gonna put up with that where I'm gonna go buy a new phone every damn year. They're too expensive.
I have no idea what this is, but some people are saying that they can see glowing eyes. Other people are saying it looks like a figure moving around in the trees. Whatever it is, it's ripping the trees apart.
Hell no, I ain't out there. I'm out. I'm going inside.
I've never seen anything like it in my life.
It's those monkeys.
This is the second time I've come over here. And the first time when I got up under them trying to figure out what it was, they started breaking limbs off and throwing them at me. And I still cannot figure out what it is. Look, they're ruining this freaking place.
Better go put a trail cam up.
Name is, it's bigger than me, whatever it is. Because it's breaking limbs off that it would take me 2 minutes to saw. Look, see, he's coming right above me right here. He's fixing to throw something at me, whatever it is. Yeah, they don't like you messing with them. Look. What in God's name is going on?
There you go. There's your answer, guy. It ain't something in the tree. It's the damn tree.
Looks like a monster trying to come out, doesn't it? It looks like he's trying to crawl out.
It's crazy.
Scary. Shut the fuck up.
Jesus.
Look at the trees. Don't they seem like they have faces? They're like 5 faces in the trees.
All stoned. That's what being stoned does to you. You start seeing faces in trees.
Look, that one's like rolling his eye. Like, why do you always have to take pictures?
So I'm walking along here, and I run into this
Oof.
tree with this stupid grin on his face. It's just like the most perfect tree face I've ever seen.
Vertebrates in your spine. There's 33 years in the life of Jesus. Substance that comes from your medulla, which looks like the Ark of the Covenant, has angel's wings around it, the whole thing. Trip down your spine to your sacrum, which is Christ coming down into human form.
Yeah.
And if you don't squander that essence, that sexual essence, it ascends again and goes back up to heaven, which is your thing. It's also the story of Santa Claus. Why he comes down the chimney is because this juice or this substance actually passes what's called the claustrum, which is where they got Santa Claus. So it goes down the chimney and back up the chimney.
Don't get along with each other. They've been competing with each other to see which one is the greatest country since the Cold War. That's why America said that they was the first one to go to the moon. All of this bull, blah, blah, blah. Russia don't like that. Why Russia don't like that? Russia is really close to motherfucking Ukraine. They're right next to each other, like literally like going from Jersey to New York. That would
Looks like a damn demon talking with those in that hand.
So let's talk about the cannibal giant they found in exactly that location. This is the archaeological report of 1929. I'm standing in the exact spot mentioned in the report. In the north central part of the cave, 4 feet deep, was a striking body of a man. His body was mummified and his hair was distinctly red. There was a grass rope about his neck with a knot under the left ear. The rope was about 8 feet long. The feet were bound together from the ankle to above the knees with rope. The mummification was complete except for part of the abdomen. The other mummies all had red hair. I think there were 4 or 5 more. Those that appeared to be women were small. This was not due to the shrinking of the bodies in mummification, because the man was a giant.
You know why we can't get nothing done right in this country right now? You know why? Because Joe Biden is asleep and Kamala Harris is at a dance party with Beyonce. Damn! I can't wait to Trump get in office.
I'm sorry, but the Biden administration is a joke. How are you going to sit there and tell us, oh, we don't know anything about these drones? Like, we're trying to get answers too, but we know that it's not a threat. And we know, he also said, by the way, that there are no signs of foreign involvement. How would you know? You're purporting to not know anything about what these drones are, where they came from. So how are we supposed to buy that there's no threat here?
Thought this was an alien thing in New Jersey, but it's obviously not. It's the government again is lying. What do you think is actually happening there?
My whole job for 35 years has been like find out what's going on. I think I've got a good track record for roughly finding out what's going on. Like you miss a lot, and maybe it's there's a lot of deception, but basically you kind of know what's going on, right? I've got nowhere on this. I talked to a member of Congress who I trust, who went into the skiff with congressional leaders, the secure area where you can have secure conversations and all that, and got a briefing from intel briefers on those drones, and the briefing was effectively identical to the DoD press release. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So they're not telling members of Congress, which, by the way, I think is unconstitutional. The cover-up is bipartisan. That always makes me uncomfortable. When both sides are in on something, it's not good. And I know that I don't know what it really is, which is just, I've never had this experience before.
You have to watch these videos. Look at this. This is crazy. That's an alien. Like, that's crazy.
Y'all know I'm a sucker for giants on mountains. I saw this. I was like, instant download on the video.
Com zoom aqui dá pra ver ele se mexendo melhor.
Ele é melhor que o meu. E outra coisa, se você for fazer uma comparação, ele é mais ou menos do tamanho daquela árvore lá. Entendeu? Ele é grande.
Outra coisa, até que tem que se movimentar, não tá normal.
Needs to zoom out.
Pode ser um ser humano gigante, mas ele tá um comportamento diferente.
Ali é um Anunnaki, velho. Você consegue captar as vibrações, vem até nós. Só não vem à noite.
Mano, pior que mexe esquisito demais.
Ele parece, sabe aquele assim, índio?
Essas flechas é grande.
Aquele movimento dos índios, com arco e flecha. É o movimento dele. Mas é interessante.
Scary fact you wish you never knew.
CNN has had a pre-recorded broadcast from the 90s, which they will premiere during the end of the world. A mysterious unknown Russian radio station has been broadcasting a strange buzzing, punctuated by intermittent code words, since 1973. Typing 444 will turn on TikTok's dark mode. There is a shack called the Devil's Toy Box in Louisiana, and for some reason people who go in lose their mind. Do you know the tingly feeling you get when you eat a pineapple? Well, that's because the pineapple is eating you. It has an enzyme called bromelain, and that enzyme eats meat, which you're made of. 23% of children under the age of 13 have experienced auditory illusions, meaning they've heard voices. Sharks have been around for 420 million years, meaning they have survived all 4 big mass extinctions, making them older than dinosaurs, Mount Everest, and even some trees on this planet.
Himalayan salt or petrified giants? Which is it? Hold on before you swipe on by. This isn't some crazy conspiracy theory post. I just want to show y'all pork ribs in a pink salt mine. It looks very, very, very eerily similar, doesn't it? Now, what does it look like whenever they're inside these salt mines? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that remind y'all of? I'm going to show you a couple more images, and then we're going to decide if petrified giants are real or not. I should call her. Anyways, now the theories on these giants, or these petrified giants, man, are pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? It's all alleged. Like this right here. Look at this right here, man. That's freaking awesome, isn't it? So now back to the Himalayan pink salt. That looks exactly like bacon. Is this bacon or Himalayan salt? I mean, look at that, man. It literally looks like layers of skin, like epidermis. I'm just saying, man. I'm not saying it is. I think I might have said that already, right? Fact checkers. And remember, everybody, it's always the questions, never the answers. Always question and think about things, because, I mean, I was eating Himalayan pink salt for a long time until I came across the Dr. Regenerated, actually. Y'all should check his page out, man. This is where a lot of these pictures came from. He was one of the first ones that, I was like, I want to be a creator like that, man. Yeah. I had like 5,000 followers. It's crazy, man. True inspiration, dude. Him and a lot of others, man, who I'll mention in the next video.
Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter just donated $100,000 to the BuzzFeed alma mater.
Oh.
Interesting. That Mrs. Knowles, because she's now dropped the Carter. Do you know what I really think is going on? I think we're witnessing the beginning of the War of the Roses. Do you remember that movie, War of the Roses?
Are you happy? I'm more than happy. I'm married.
About this couple, they were together and they had this wonderful life.
The house is so beautiful. And we live here.
But then it was just time for them to part ways. The wife outgrew the husband.
When I look at you lately, I just want to your face in.
He wanted things to stay the same. She wanted things to change.
I want a divorce. You can't have one.
They waged war on each other. The divorce was catastrophic, and it ended up claiming the both of their lives, fighting over property.
House, car, boy, girl, puppy, kitty. The poor never had a chance.
I think Jay-Z and Beyonce is about to give us War of the Roses 2.0.
Most people never question, why do Catholic priests wear black robes? Kids that graduate from high school wear black robes. Judges wear black robes. Rabbis wear black robes because black robes represent the planet Saturn. They are a symbol for the planet Saturn. Saturn was called by the ancient people Lord of the Rings, and Saturn is Lord of the Rings. This is why women were told in the ancient world to listen to their god, and the concept was they would wear an ear ring. Men were to get married before their gods. They wear a wedding ring because the old ancient god of the Middle East, one of the ancient gods of the Middle East, was the planet Saturn. Saturn was directly connected to Yahweh, the Hebrew God. And so this is why even today the Jews celebrate the worship of Saturn. Saturn in the old Phoenician language was called Shabbath. Look up in the Phoenician language, you will find that the planet Saturn was called Shabbath. And his worship to honor him once a week was called Sabbath. So when the Jews are having Sabbath, they're actually paying homage to their god Saturn, Lord of the Rings.
Imagine there is a lot more going on than you realize. But it's just a coincidence, right?
Have you all seen this? CIA document claims life existed on Mars and it was a population of very large people who built the pyramids. But this gets so much crazier. At the same time, allegedly we have this place releasing moon footage of alien base. So for a quick moment we can pretend the moon is not a plasma. Now back to the Daily Mail with things existing on Mars. By the way, do y'all understand the timing? So this CIA document is from 40 years ago. But check this part out. The report of Mars exploration, May 22, 1984, details how the agency used astral projection. The idea that a person's spirit can travel through the astral plane. This astral projection was also used in the world's second biggest global conflict. But back to this whole scenario. This whole study was part of Project Stargate, a secret U.S. Army unit established in 1977, focused on anomalous phenomena including remote viewing, telepathy, and psycho whatever the word. Don't forget the timing. What's going on right now in the sky? Finally, in the book by Werner von Braun, Project Mars, he talked about the Elon leading them to Mars. And a quick by the way, like the rest of the United States, we have electronics, lights, and things like that glitching in Massachusetts now. Wonder why? Again, it's in the northern United States. The Northeast. TikTok, this is all alleged. This is just news articles and books.
Okay, there you go. 40 years ago. Why are they putting it out now? Remember what happened in 2020 when Trump was up for re-election? The big pandemic. That's why he lost. The riots, all that, the division that the Democrats did. Are they going to do something during his presidency this time? Is it going to be some type of alien thing?
Go from New York to Brazil, Buenos Aires, and then Antarctica without ever coming up to the surface for air. And you can do it all at way more than 1,000 miles an hour on magnetic levitation trains, otherwise called maglev. One thing he told me, he went from Virginia to Los Angeles in 45 minutes. Do the math, 3,000 miles an hour. Most people don't even believe that there's a tunnel network. There are hundreds of thousands of miles of tunnel systems.
Are you telling me Beyonce?
So you're telling me, Nancy Grace, that the elites are driving around tunnels underground with magnets while we're up here paying $4 a gallon for gas, living in the 1900s while they're all using magnets, getting around from Virginia to Los Angeles in 40 minutes. It's a cold game, y'all. They don't care about us. They don't.
Should be grateful that she is married to Jay-Z. I never knew what she saw in him anyway.
I'm sure she felt that way.
Are you trying to say that
That's what she saw in him. What you mean?
Married into a whole heap of trouble?
Yes, I am. I'm not sure that she knew about it. Women blind themselves to
but
that.
Not everybody is Beyonce. Beautiful, talented, multi-millionaire, probably billionaire, beautiful children. Why did she marry him? Out of all the men in the world she could have had.
Jay-Z helped shape Beyonce's career. When she married him, she definitely was a star, but she hadn't yet broken out into being a superstar in her own right. Behind the scenes, he's one of the most powerful people in the music business.
Plus, she started dating him when she was just 19. At 19, what do you know?
This was always, we heard, a business arrangement. He was such a powerful man. She was
then
young.
Where did those 3 children come from?
Well, that's another program, Nancy, if you want my thoughts on that, because I've heard a lot of different versions of where they actually came from.
I'm not buying into where the children. Do not even put the word Blue Ivy in your mouth, okay? Don't.
He didn't really come famous until after the death of Tupac and the Notorious Big, brother. So that's like 97. He went on that whole Bad Boy tour with the #1 song in the world, Missing You, where he stole the thing from Sting and the music from Source Money. He was stealing people's dreams. He's the cause of a lot of people's death, and people ain't gonna see it the way I see it. When you steal somebody's dreams, Black Rob probably could have changed his life, probably could have changed the way he thought, probably could have changed the way he was doing business if he wouldn't have stole G-Dep from him.
Hey, Gene Deal was the one that he pushed the rock uphill. He got it to the top of the hill, and then Cassie came and pushed it downhill. But this guy right here, he was spilling these beans 7-8 years ago on podcasts, and people were all calling him hater and all you want is money. And he was the one, y'all. You go look at his old interviews on Queen's Flip the Script podcast. That's a good one. He spilled some beans.
If he would have treated Craig Mack in the correct way and not try to steal his music, use him in the way that he used Craig Mack to catapult the Notorious Big, Craig Mack life could have been changed. If he would have never set up the atmosphere and had Big out there in California and bringing Big to that party, the Notorious Big life may still be here. Maybe Tupac would have never had that altercation.
Any name shouldn't come up in nothing Biggie had did. Guess what Biggie Mama said? You don't know who killed Mama. Didn't nobody listen to Biggie Mama. Biggie Mama knew that Puff and them had something to do with her son getting killed. Because you don't get killed and don't nobody know what happened. You don't be sitting in the van. Let me tell y'all something. When somebody have to get you, they gonna get you, not him. You might get straight, but the job is to get you. What happened to Tupac? He got hit. What happened to Suge? He got straight. What happened to Biggie? He got hit. What happened to everybody else in the car? Nobody, because they ain't have to get him. That's what you call a setup. When it's a setup, only you get hit. Biggie was set up by his own people so he could sell out.
Look at how her eyes go from completely normal to where they turn into a complete demonic manifestation. Understand that the demons are not hiding anymore. They are on the forefront in front of all of our faces for all to see and for all to make the choice. Am I going to continue to knowingly follow after wickedness, or am I going to choose to follow after the truth and walk in righteousness, which is right standing with the Lord? Understand, in this performance, down to the outfits, the background, this is a hellish scene. Our spirits are eternal, and when we leave here, we either go with the Lord and we wait there, or we go with the demons in purgatory and we wait there, but we are eternal. So understand that even if we're in purgatory, there is no relent on what is happening. The torture is consistent.
I've been saying that, y'all. They're not doing these symbols no more. They're not doing these things with their hands or in the background or the checkered floor. They're not doing that no more. They're all out. They're out. We got the devil performing at the Grammys. We got the devil getting lap dances. We got, we got all this now. It's out there. It's in the movies. It's in the music. It's on the television. It's out there now. It's go time. You know what I mean?
Are they using birds to monitor us?
Now, I used to work for LabCorp, so I'd be a courier. So I'd be out at these doctors' offices, sometimes till midnight, right? I'd be hitting lock boxes at night. Once everything closes from 5 o'clock until midnight, you're hitting lock boxes. And you can feel energies at certain stops. There'll be a lockbox right here. Terror. Like, I feel like someone's watching me. I'm looking over my back. I feel like somebody's here. Go to the lockbox right next door. Nothing. You just forget about that feeling. You're not nervous no more. Like, it's peaceful. So there's crazy energies out there in this world, y'all. I really believe in that. But I'm thinking of doing some scary TikToks on my second channel. I'm thinking of doing that because they're kind of fun. I like watching them. We might start doing that. Let me know down below if you guys would want to see some scary TikToks on the other channel. Link down below. Look at this alien. Tell me that ain't an alien. That's an alien right there.
I don't know what's going on. Sorry for my language. I don't know what's going on. Look at all this stuff. You see this? The sky? Circling. They're circling literally. Something. They are circling literally. They are circling literally.
That's crazy.
What is this? Somebody please tell me. I don't know what this is.
All these planes around it.
This is what it looks like to open up a can of cigarettes from the 1930s.
They don't make things like this no more. They just got a cheap carton filled with chemicals. I remember when I was young, my neighbor used to roll his own cigarettes, man. I used to smoke those. Those things give you a good buzz. I bought one of these, a pack of cigarettes, when I was 18, when I was allowed to. That thing was nasty. Look at these.
Go back some. What? Go back a little bit, then zoom in so they can see it. All on the Ring camera detection. Now watch this, the next one. What the hell? Pause it on that. Yo.
He lit up the whole street. Look how big this thing is.
Yo.
Oh, Aaliyah. They said that Aaliyah didn't even die then. That they just had a plane crash. They said they used her as a sex thing, like the guy Quaker Mutuat talked about, how they could take a young girl and put him in the bed with an old man. They used her. She didn't make the transition till she was strong enough. About like 4 years later. Yeah. They had her she was 22, which was my at the time, and they had her as that thing to suck that energy. when she played Akasha, they set up the template. They set up the template for that. So whenever you do these roles, that's like a ceremonial thing that you become that. It's like initiation. And once she did it, she became that particular battery for about 4 years. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. They used her as an energy thing, the right thing, and all like that. You see what I'm saying? Until, you know, she finally made the transition.
He pulled out a small gun and aimed it at the back of Lincoln's head. Now, he waited for a loud moment in the play, then he pulled the trigger. After firing the shot, he jumped down to the stage, breaking his leg as he landed. Despite the injury, he managed to escape the theater on horseback. As a massive manhunt began, he hid for 12 days before being found and
Favorite movie of 1988?
Twins. Twins. It was a good movie, yeah. It's a good movie.
Great, thanks. Hi, what was your favorite movie of 1988?
I'd have to say that. Look at all these classics that came out in 1988, y'all.
Naked Gun.
Naked Gun? Why The Naked Gun?
Because it was very funny. Very funny.
Twins.
What was your favorite movie?
Die Hard, if that was 88.
What was your favorite movie of 1988? School Days. School Days. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Platoon, maybe?
Halloween.
Platoon,
4. Yeah.
Halloween.
Halloween 4. Roger Rabbit.
Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. Rain Man. VERN.
Rain Man. I don't know.
Fatal Attraction.
Coming to America. I'm gonna get you sucker.
What's your favorite movie of 1988?
I'm gonna get you sucker.
Hi, what was your favorite movie of 1988? Child's Play. Die Hard. I really don't have one. I can't think of anything. Oh yeah, Big was good. Big. I like Cocktail. The Seventh Son.
Now, what was your favorite movie of 2024? That was in theaters. I bet there's a lot of people that didn't even go to the movies this year because there's nothing out. I think the last movie I went to see was, I believe, Civil War. That was one of the worst movies I've ever seen, y'all. Now I just go to the movies, honestly. Like, if my girl wants to go to the movies and the movie's trash, I'm going to go because I want some good popcorn. To eat, really, is now why I go to the movies. Not for the movie, it's for the popcorn.
Debit card. Though now in very limited use in the states of California, Florida, and Maryland, it was pioneered in the state of Iowa. Hy-Vee food stores like this one in Des Moines were the first to try it, and the experiment has worked.
Just briefly, what happens, the customer buys her groceries as they normally would, the cashier rings them up as normal, and when it comes to that point where the cashier tells the customer how much it is, the customer says, well, I want to use my bank card. Once that happens, then the customer simply puts their card with a magnetic stripe on it through the reader, punches in their 4-digit security number, and hits the enter button, and that sends the transaction on through the banking channels. And it's over. It's just that quick. Takes 5-6 seconds, usually at the most. When the minute goes through, the customer is taken out of the customer's account and put into our account.
5 to 6 seconds and you are on your way. If the debit card is the wave of the future, is it possible the day will come when all bank transactions will be right at the point of sale?
As more people become used to the debit card and see the advantages of it, I think it will continue to grow and grow substantially. The results of the Iowa experiment have proven that over the past several years, and volume is increasing at very rapid levels today. I would hasten to add, however, that the day of the checkless or even cashless society is a long way off.
Worcester, Massachusetts right now. Lights are going crazy. What's going on? This is weird.
Darling, what do you want for Christmas?
A new bike and a pencil sharpener and a new book.
A new bike and a pencil sharpener, and what did you say? What was the last thing?
A Rupert book.
A Rupert book?
Yeah.
Now then, what is it you want?
Want a motor car.
A motor car? Do you think Mummy should have a motor car?
Yes, yes.
I'll try hard to bring you a motor car. Clockwork train?
Yes, please.
You got room to play with it?
Yes.
Do you know how to work it?
Yes.
Do you think that's all right, Mummy? Clockwork train in the house?
Yes, I think it'll be all right.
Well, now come and tell me, What is it that you want? Now tell me nice and loud because I'm rather old.
A dolly that reads itself and a nurse's outfit.
Now then, what do you want?
A sewing set.
You quite sure?
Yes.
And you?
Princess, please.
What?
Princess, please.
A princess?
Yes.
What do you do with her? What do you do with her? Hmm?
Play with it.
What are the different types of beings that you guys have seen? Like, what do they look like?
My brother Jeremy and my mom have seen the ones that are very tall, and my mom has seen the ones that are very little. My sister, to my knowledge, has seen the little ones as well. So as far as I know, there are at least 2 or 3 types. As we understand them, they are non-physical. And as it was explained to me by a man named Jim Simivan, who is a CIA program director who ran the clandestine operations for the CIA. And what he told me plainly to my face is that they understand that there is a spectrum of existence throughout the universe, and that as we evolve along this spectrum, we become less physical. So we know and understand that humans are somewhere in the middle of the spectrum where we're physical, but we're also half psychic, where we have like the full capabilities of physical manifestation. And he explained to me that as you go up this continuum is where these beings come into play. And they believe that the lady being, they understand her to be a godlike race of beings that manifests reality purely from thought, and that just with the thought she could destroy or create a planet or create an entire reality. They can do anything.
They put the truth about the firmament right in our face. Watch this. What are they trying to tell y'all?
This is impossible! Ed was right! The sky is falling! Thank you very much.
Right in our
So now
face.
what? I'm afraid we may just find out, Eddie.
God's words tells us in Job chapter 37, verse 18, what the firmament's like. Hast thou with them spread out the sky which is strong, and as a molten looking glass. Is that why Hillary always talked about breaking that glass ceiling?
Although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks.
Or guys, you remember when Bill Nye slipped up and said, we can't leave the earth, it's a closed system?
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the earth. There's no place to go.
Guys, they know the truth. They're gonna continue to put it right in our face. Send this to somebody that needs to see this, and like always, God bless.
Do you think if they came out and said, not even that the earth is flat, but just that there's a ceiling that we can't get out of, do you really think people would lose their mind and freak out and change their mindset? Or do you think people would go about business and, back to work on Monday? I think that's what would happen if they came out and said those things. I don't think people would bat an eye. I really don't.
Millones de personas esperando en México.
She says there's millions, como millones or mil?
Miles, millones de personas esperando en México.
She says there's millions of people waiting in Mexico to come to the United States. The CBP-1 app, from what I understand, at one point it was only Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. But now it sounds like they're opening it to more countries for the
Ya no, ya todos pueden aplicar.
She says now everybody can. Mexicans, Venezuelans, Colombians.
Todos.
And if you guys didn't receive your appointment before Trump is inaugurated, would you have came to the border illegally?
Sería lo último que hubiéramos hecho. Pero sí hay mucha gente en México que tiene eso en la mente de cruzar así ilegal. Ilegal por el río, por caminando, como sea. Antes del 20 de enero.
Now that Donald Trump will become the president here in the United States, are you worried about being deported?
Sí, pues sí, la verdad sí, pues como en las noticias igual han salido pues que no van a dejar pasar, que van a cerrar la aplicación de CBP-1 y pues más que nada pues
That'd be a crazy sight, y'all, because I'm in a border town and millions of people rushing it, coming in. Hey, I'll make sure to keep you guys posted. I'll have my video right here filming for you guys. So if it hits the fan, I'll be right here showing you guys, documenting it live, because I'm right here on the floor, on the, on the front lines.
Did you know that there is a place in the United States where if you travel south, it takes you directly to Canada? But how is this possible if Canada is to the north? Shouldn't it be towards Mexico? This happens between the city of Detroit and Michigan and Windsor in Canada. Detroit is located on the shores of the Detroit River, and right across the river is Windsor, directly south of Detroit. To get to Canada from here, all you have to do is get in your car and cross the Ambassador Bridge, which connects both cities. By heading south from Detroit and crossing the bridge, you find yourself in Windsor. For the locals, this curious situation is part of their daily routine. Many people cross the border daily to work, shop, or do other activities, making this international trip a routine occurrence. The irregular course of the Detroit River has created this unique geographical and historical situation, showing that nature doesn't always follow the directions we normally think of. It's a place where maps seem to play tricks on reality, inviting travelers to question their sense of direction as they journey south to reach the northern neighbor.
P and Coach from QC came out and they said every time you drop a single, automatically have to spend $200,000. Yep. Radio, for promo,
to make
merch, to make it the most popular. Mm-hmm. If you don't do that, you're not cutting through the fog. Those are the records that last for 2 months. You can't name me a record from 2 months ago.
Me and him is against each other on this.
You can't name me a record from 2 months ago.
I can't name you a record from yesterday. I'm fucked up.
Okay. Now, what was the most, I'm guessing that it was for sure hip hop, if not number one song out of all genres. What was the number one song? We heard him get talked about a little earlier. Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us. The whole world was reacting to it, posting it. They even went so far that there won't be no copyright strike if you react to it. When have you heard that? Now, we all listened to that song, not because we wanted to, but because they made us. Who's performing in the Super Bowl this year? Oh. See how slick they are? See how slick they are? That's crazy. Who's performing in the Super Bowl? Kendrick Lamar. Who performs in the Super Bowl? Jay-Z. How much money are they going to make from that? Now you see why I say it's not Jay-Z's time yet. It's not his time. They're making too much money with him. It's not his time yet. It's coming, but not yet. You got to leave a like for that, y'all. I don't think any of these TikTok reactors broke that down. Leave me a like for that. Let's go down memory lane right here.
Nick. Nickelodeon.
Hey, Clavis, wake up. The show's over. Oh, yeah, kick it.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
$666.
Viacom.
Welcome. You've got mail. Goodbye.
The good old days, y'all. The good days that these poor kids nowadays don't get to experience that. Don't get to experience Saturday morning cartoons. One Saturday morning. Remember that? On ABC? Recess? Man, take me back. Now we're on TikTok.
President Biden is commuting the death sentences of 37 of the 40 people on federal death row, nearly every prisoner on federal death row, and he's reclassifying them to life without the possibility of parole, and that will prevent incoming President Trump from executing them. Now, who is still facing the death penalty? The shooter from Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston in 2015, killing 9 Black members.
It's still a publicity stunt. Right? He's still trying to keep those Black voters. I kept this guy in death row. You know, I'm one. I care about you guys. You know what I mean? It's crazy how he thinks he's slick. They think they're slick, y'all. They think they're
of
slick.
The church,
they're
the
not.
Boston Marathon bomber who killed 3 people, and the Tree of Life synagogue shooter who killed 11 congregants in the deadliest anti-Semitic attack in history. So progressive lawmakers, criminal justice advocates, they're applauding this decision, and Pope Francis had publicly urged President Biden to prevent the executions. They actually spoke over the phone just last week, which makes you wonder if that kind of prompted this. But going forward, President-elect Trump has said he would seek to expand the death penalty in his second term. And during his first term, he carried out 13 federal executions, and that ended a 17-year hiatus.
Do you see that picture of Puff Daddy up there? Yeah, then you too. Do you see the picture of Puff Daddy? What adjective comes to mind? What are you thinking when you look at that? Good. Ready? Go. Good. Keep going. Gross.
Is something dark and sinister going on in Hollywood? Check this out, y'all.
Spice Madonna. Upside down cross.
If you pay attention, they always tell you who they really side with.
That was in the Super Bowl booth, y'all. Let's rewind that. I didn't notice she picked it up like to show it off. I didn't notice that. That's crazy. That's in the Super Bowl. And guess who was promoting that? Every freaking play, the NFL. Look at that. Look what she does. I didn't notice that she picks it up like
If you
that.
pay attention, they always tell you who they really side with.
That's crazy. Telling you, they're out now. They're out. They ain't hiding it no more. It's go time.
What do y'all think that really means?
Ain't nothing good. Looks like a witch.
The same stuff that was happening in Hollywood years and years ago, decades ago, is still happening now. And you can argue it's even more obvious than it was then.
Mm-hmm.
Like the saying goes, symbolism will be their downfall. As always, thanks for watching. Stay weird. Until next time.
This is the quietest room in the world. As long as you stay in the room for an hour, you can win a prize of $5 million. It seems simple, but no one succeeds. This challenge is extremely difficult because the room was built by Microsoft at a cost of $10 million, and the internal noise is only 20 decibels, which is difficult for ordinary people to last for a minute. The room is surrounded by 6 layers of concrete and steel structure. Isolating all external sounds and high-quality sound-absorbing materials are used inside. It is said that even your own heartbeat can be heard clearly. In 2019, a reporter tried the challenge, but collapsed and escaped after only 8 minutes, and it took 2 hours to recover. There was an official challenge that only required 1 hour to win the prize. More than 1,000 people participated, but no one succeeded. The longest record was 58 minutes and 57 seconds. The challenger said that he felt extremely lonely and panicked in the room. Faced with a huge bonus, do you dare to try?
Can you imagine? You can't even hear yourself talking there. You hear your heartbeat, hear your breathing, heart rate keeps going higher and higher and higher. That's a panic attack waiting to happen right there. No thanks.
Creatures of myth and legend are starting to make themselves known. Maybe. Take a look at this footage that was captured during the Eddie Aikau surf competition in Hawaii around December 15th, 2024. The photographer was videoing a surfer out there in the waves when he caught something completely unexpected. What appears to be a mermaid catching a wave alongside the surfer. This video is absolutely insane, and it has not been edited. This is the actual video of what they unexpectedly caught while trying to film their surfers in the competition. You have to look at this and tell me what you think. Could this truly be a mermaid? Or maybe it's some other unidentified marine animal.
We don't have inflation because the people are living too well. We have inflation because the government is living too well. And the last statement, just a few days ago, was a speech to the effect that we have inflation because government revenues have not kept pace with government spending. I see my time is running out here. I'll have to get this down very fast. Yes, you can lick inflation by increasing productivity and by decreasing the cost of government to the place that we have balanced budgets and are no longer grinding out printing press money, flooding the market with it because the government is spending more than it takes in. And my economic plan calls for that. The president's economic plan calls for increasing the taxes to the point that we finally take so much money away from the people that we can balance the budget in that way. We will have a very poor nation and a very unsound economy if we follow that path.
So I was amazed to find that Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world, says in his quarterly reports, and loves to say in many settings, that he tells all of the thousands of Amazon employees who work under him, he wants them all to wake up terrified every morning. And that's the word he uses, terrified. And to stay terrified all day, because that makes them productive. But most of these people are just getting by financially. He wants them to be afraid all the time so that he and the stockholders can get more stuff. And they already have so much stuff.
All right, family. There you have today's reaction. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. We do daily uploads over here. For anybody that's new, I appreciate all the love you guys have been showing. Appreciate the Christmas love you guys have been showing. I was showing my, my girl that, and she had a big old smile on her face reading what the CaveFam was writing about us over here and the family that is growing. But I hope everyone has a good day, y'all. Hope everyone has a good day today. Back to reality. I got some things to do right now. I got to go do some grocery shopping because we were out of town early in the week and then it was Christmas, so we have really nothing to eat. So we're gonna go do some grocery shopping. We're gonna finish this baby room, hang up some plush nets up in the corner, and put the bassinet together, get the stroller ready. And I think we're ready for the baby then, get our little hospital bag together, or hers for sure. So that's the plan for today, y'all. I hope everyone has a good day out there. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'm gonna see you guys on tomorrow's reaction. Have a good day, y'all. Love y'all. Later.